Hello friends, let's discuss important topics related to polity or political science which will help in prelims 2023. So first topic is Election Commission of India. So it is a constitutional body responsible for administrating election in India according to rules and regulations mentioned in Constitution of India. It was established in January 25, 1950. It aims to define control process of election conducted at various levels: parliament, state, legislature, and offices of the President and Vice President of India. The ECI implements norms and the Model Code of Conduct to ensure free and fair in the country. So, what are the constitutional provisions regarding ECI? So, one of the important article is Article 324. 324 says that superintendent's direction and control of election is vested with an election commission. So, appointment and condition of service are: the President appoints Chief Election Commissioner and election commissioners. Their tenure is 6 years. So again, this is important, up to the age of 65 years, whichever is earlier. They enjoy some status to receive salary and perks as available to the judges of the Supreme Court of India. Removal of election commissions. The Chief Election Commissioner can be removed only through impeachment by the Parliament. So this is again important fact, only through impeachment by the Parliament. Next topic is Foreign University. University Grant Commission uploaded the draft regulation, the setting up of operation of campus of foreign higher educational institution in India. A legislative framework facilitating such entry will be put in place, and such universities will be given to a special dispensation regarding regularity, governance, and content norms on par with the autonomous regulation of India. Initially, permission would be granted for 10 years, with the renewal of being subject to fulfillment of requisite conditions. The foreign university would have the freedom to diverse their own curricula and admission process. The National Education Policy 2020 provided that selected universities, examples those from among the top 100 universities in the world, will be facilitated to operate in India. Benefits to India. So what are the benefits? Cut down the outflow of Indian money and brain drain. Address the issue of gross enrollment ratio. Cultural exchange. Increased competitiveness. Brand buildings. These are some important benefits India. Now next is Article 324(2). So what is this? 324(2) in the Constitution of India, the Election Commission shall consist of the Chief Election Commissioner and such number of the Election Commissioner, if any, as the President may from time to time fix, and appoints the Chief Election Commissioner, and other election commissioners shall, subject to the provision of any law made in the behalf by Parliament, be made by Parliament. Now, next topic is 103rd Constitutional Amendment. So, the 103rd Constitutional Amendment provides the reservation in appointment to post under the state and in admissions in educational institutions to economically weaker sections of citizens. This reservation can extend up to 10% of total seat available. On the other hand, it is lauded as a tool for economic justice, but On the other hand, it is criticized for infringing on the very basic of the constitutions. Silent features. What are the silent features of 103rd Constitutional Amendment? First is 103rd Constitutional Amendment Act provides the reservation of jobs in central governments as well as the government of educational institutions. It also applicable to the admissions to provide higher educational institutions. It helps to citizens belonging to economically weaker sections of any sect society. The reservation is the additions to existing reservations and subjects of maximum of 10% of total seats in each category. It mandates Article 46 of the Constitution of India drives directive principle that urges government to protect the educational and economic interest of weaker section of the society. Now, next topic is some tribal were found in Tamil Nadu. So, which tribals? Their name is important for prelim point of view. Narikovam, Puri, Vikaram, and Beta Purba tribes. So these tribes are found in Tamil Nadu. Next is some judgment of Supreme Court. Judgment are important in mains also. So first judgment is recognizing sex work as a profession. Their case name is Budhav Karmsar versus State of Bengal. So only case is important and detail is not so much important. Now second case is upholding the validity of Article 103rd Constitutional Amendment. Case name is Jagdeep Abhiyan versus Union of India. Next case is keeping the sedition law on hold. SG Badkhere versus Union of India. Prohibiting the two-finger test in rape cases. State of Jharkhand versus Shailendra Kumar Roy. Granting the right to abortion to unmarried women. Case name is Principal Secretary Health and Family Welfare, Government of NCT Delhi. Split decision in hijab ban case. Ahisat Sharifa versus State of Karnataka. No individual can force to receive COVID vaccinations. Jacob Poliel versus Union of India. Top court laid down guidelines for granting bail. Satyendra Kumar versus CBI. Apex Court uphold the validity of vast power conferred to ED under the provision of Money Laundering Act. Case is Vijay Mandalal Chaudhary versus Union of India. Next topic is Article 162 Constitution of India. These are subject to the provision of this constitution. The executive power of the state shall extend to the matters with respect to which the legislature of the state has power to make law. They provided that in any matter with respect to which the legislature of the state and parliament have power to make laws, the executive power of the state shall be subject to and limited by the executive power expressly conferred by this constitution or by any law made by parliament upon the union and authorities thereof. Next topic is ESCR project. So what is ESCR? The ESCR project is a initiative that will provide the digital versions of the Supreme Court's judgment in a manner as they reported in the official law report. Supreme Court. This project will take a step forward, fulfilling the objective of digitization of Indian judiciary. The project aims to bring in a positive change for the benefit of all the stakeholders of justice, primarily litigants and members of bar, also the High Courts, National Law University, Judicial Academics, etc. What are the benefits and advantages? Judiciary is aligned to more with technology, and the ECR project proves to be an important initiative. The project entitles manifold benefits, including those: first, reduction in the burden of traveling; second, browsing through a huge volumes of journalists in libraries; third one is enhancing the accessibility to those with visual disabilities, as may now be able to access him through their screen reading software. Next topic is the Criminal Procedure Identification Bill 2022. So what is this? The Identifications of a Prisoner Act 1920 allows police officers to collect certain identifiable information, fingerprints and footprints of persons, including convicted and arrested persons. Also, a magistrate may order measurement or photographs of a person to be taken to aid an investigation of an offense. In case of acquittal or discharge of persons, all material must be destroyed. So, what are the key features? First is the type of data that may be collected. Second, persons from whom such data may be collected. And third is the authority may be authorized for such collections. It also provides the data to be stored in a central database. Under both the 1920 Act and the 2022 Bill, resistance and refusal to give data will be considered as an offense and obstructing the public servants to doing his duty. Next topic is Article 239A. Article 239 of Constitution of India, creation of local legislature or council of minister or both for certain union territories. So this is one of the important article. The first point is Parliament may law create for Union Territory of Puducherry. Second is a body, whether they elected or partially nominated and partially elected, to function as a legislature for the Union Territory. A council of ministers, both of such constitution, power and function, and each case they may be specified in law. Next is any such law referred in this clause 1 shall be deemed to the amendment of his constitution for the purpose of Article 368, notwithstanding that it contains any provision which amends or has the effect of amending the constitution. Now, next topic is equal pay for equal work, equal value. So worldwide, women only make 77% of every dollar earned by man. So this is one of the important facts. As a result, there are lifetime of income inequality between men and women are more. Men are retiring into poverty, retreating into poverty. This suburban inequality in the average wages between men and women persists in all countries and across all sectors, because women's work is undervalued and women tend to be centralized in a different jobs than men. Even though the work requires equals and more effort and skills, its values of remunerated less. Women for color, immigrant of women and mothers, and gap widens. So-called motherhood penalty push women to informal economy, casual and part-time work, and trends to be longer in developing countries than developed countries. Next topic is Chief of Defence Staff. So why in news? Recently, central government is appointed former head Eastern Commandant Lieutenant General Anil Chauhan as new CDS. Background: this creation was recommended in 2001 by the group of Minister GOM that is tasked with studying the Kargil Review Committee 1999 report. After the GOM recommendation, in preparation of the post of CDS, the government created Integrated Defence Staff in 2022, which was eventually served as CDS Secretariat. In 2012, the Naresh Chandra Committee recommended to appoint of Parliament Chairman of the Chiefs of Staff Committee and a midway to eliminate apprehensions over the CDS. Finally, the post of CDS was created in 2019 on the recommendation of Committee of Defence Expert headed by Lieutenant General D.B. Saketkar. General Bipin Rawat was the first CDS of country, as we know. Roles and responsibilities. His core function will be foster the greater operational synergy between the three services branches of the Indian military and keep inter-service functions to a minimum. He also head the newly created Department of Military Affairs in the Ministry of Defence. The CDS will be a single point military advisor to the Defence Minister on the matter to involving all the three services. Parliament Chairman, Chief of Staff Committee, so they are the decision procurement. The CDS is also vested with the authority to provide directives to the three chiefs. CDS is first among equal. He enjoys the rank of secretary within the DOD, Department of Defense. He will also perform the advisory role of Nuclear Commanded Authority. So these are some roles. Now, next topic is Vice President. What are its provision, eligibilities of Vice President? So, Vice President. The Vice President is the second highest constitutional office in India, as we know. He or she serves as 5 5-year terms, but can be continued to be in office irrespective of expiry of the term until a successor assumes office. The Vice President may resign his office by submitting his resignations to the President of India. The resignation becomes effective from day it's accepted. The Vice President can be removed from office by the resolution of Council of States passed by majority of members that the time to agreed by the House of the People. A resolution for this purpose may be moved only after notice of at least a minimum 14 days has to be given of such intention. The Vice President is ex officio Chairman of the Council of States and does not hold any other office of profit. Now, come to eligibility. Should be a citizen of India, have completed 35 years of age, qualified for election as a member of Rajya Sabha, not hold any office of profit under the union government or any state government or any local authority or any public authority. No. What are the electoral colleges? So, Article 66 of the Constitution of India, Vice President is elected as a member of Electoral College. The Electoral College consists of elected member of Rajya Sabha, nominated member of Rajya Sabha, elected member of Lok Sabha. So this is again important. What is the election procedure? As per Article 68 of Constitution, the election by fill the vacancy caused by expiration of terms of office of the outgoing vice president is required to completed before the expiration of them of term. Article 324 of the Constitution read with the Presidential and Vice Presidential Election Act 1952 and the Presidential and Vice Presidential Election Rule 1974 vested to the Superintendent's direction and control and conduct of election to the office of Vice President of India and Election Commission of India. Now, next topic is Flag Code of India 2002. The Government of India has announced that national flag can now remain hosted through the night if it is in the open and hosted by the member of public. Earlier, the tricolor could be hosted only between sunrise and sunset. The government had earlier amended the flag code to allow for machine-made and polyester flag to be used. As the government launched Har Ghar Tiranga campaign, the Ministry of Home Affairs amended the Flag Code of India 2002 to allow for a national flag to be flown even at night. So, what do we know about the Flag Code of India? It allowed to unrestricted display of tricolor as long as honor and dignity of the flag were being respected. The Flag Code did not replace the pre-existing rule governing the correct display of flag. It was, however, to effort bring together all the previous law and conventions practices. It is divided into three parts. First is general disruption of tricolor, rules on display on flag by the public, private bodies and educational institutions, rules of display the flags, governments and government body. It is mentioned that tricolor cannot be used for commercial purposes and cannot be dipped to salute any persons or things. Moreover, the flag should not be used to fasten or for any kind of decoration purposes. For official display, only flags can conform for a specification as laid down by the Bureau of Indian Standard and bearing their marks by be used. Now, next topic is what is the Places of Worship Act. So, Places of Worship Act is again important. About it describes an act to prohibit their conservations of any places of worship and to provide the maintenance of any religious character of any place of worship as it exists on 15th day of August 1947 and for the matter connected therewith thereto incidental thereto. Exemption. The disputed site at Ayodhya was exempted from the act. Due to exemptions, the trial in Ayodhya case proceeded even after the enforcement of this law. The Best Ayodhya Dispute Act was also exempted. Any place of worship which is ancient and historical monuments is an archaeological site discovered by the Ancient Monuments and Archaeological Site and Remains Act 1958, a suit that has been finally settled and disposed of. Any disputes that has been settled by the parties or conservations of any places that took place by acquiescence before the act commenced. Penalty. Section 6 of the act prescribes the punishment of maximum 3 years imprisonment along with fine for contravening the provision of the act. What are its criticisms? The law has been challenged on the ground that bar the judicial review, which is the basic feature of the Constitution, impose the arbitrary irrational retrospective cutoff and arbitrates the right to religion of Hindus, Jains, Buddhists and Sikhs. No. Next topic is adultery is not a crime as per the recent judgment by Supreme Court. Supreme Court has struck down the unconstitutional, the 158-year-old section 497 of the Indian Penal Code, which criminalizes adultery. The 5-judge bench of justice headed by Justice Mitra will struck down this act. The Supreme Court observations. It said that 158-year-old law was unconstitutional and a violative of Article 21, right to life and personal liberty, and Article 14, right to equality. The court observed that two individuals may parts of its one cheats, but to attach criminality to indefinitely is going too far. How the married couples deal with adultery absolutely of a matter of privacy. Besides, there is no data to back claim that abolition of adultery as a crime would result the chaos and sexual morality and increases divorce. Any provisions of law affecting the individual dignity and equality of women initiatives invites the worth of Constitution. It's time to say the husband is not the master of wife. Legal sovereignty of one sex over other sex is wrong. However, if any aggrieved spouse ended her life because of her partner adulterous relations, it could be treated as an abetment to attempt to suicide if the evidence was pursued. Section 497 is based on the doctrine of curvature. So this is again important. This doctrine, not recognized by the Constitution, hold that a woman loses her identity and legal right with marriage is a violative her fundamental rights. Marriage does not mean ceding autonomy of one to the another. Ability to make sexual choice is essential to human liberty. Even within the private zones of individual should allow to her choice. Society impose impossible virtues on women, rise to her pedestal, confines her husbands and spaces, objectifies her and says she should be pure, but the society has not qualms to commit rape, honor killing, sex determinations and other things. Now, adultery. What is adultery? The act of adultery is voluntary sexual intercourse between the married person and someone other than persons of current spouse or partner. Section 497 of the IPC. It mandates that whoever has sexual intercourse with the wife of another man without the consent and convenience of that man, such sexual intercourse not amounting to offense of rape is guilty, or the offense of adultery shall be punished. Next is, the law does not punish his wife, since it presumes that only a man can seduce a woman into a sexual act, and that is the husband who suffered due to its sexual relationship of his wife carried out without his consent. At the same time, the wife is not protected from similar behavior committed by her husband. Now, next topic is minority status. Supreme Court had said that minority status of religious and linguistic communities is state dependent. So, what's the petition? Petition campaigned the follower of Judaism, Bahaism and Hinduism are the real minorities in Ladakh, Mizoram, Lakshadweep, Kashmir, Punjab and northeastern states. However, they cannot establish their administrated educational institution. They are the choice because of non-identification of minority at the state level. The right to communities such as Hindus are the socially, economically, politically non-dominant and numerically inferior in several states. What was the ruling? Every person in India can be a minority of one state or another. The Marathi can be minority of outside his from home states, example Maharashtra. Similarly, the Kannada speaking person may be minority in a state other than Karnataka. The court indicated that the religious or linguistic community which is a minority in a particular state can be inherently claim protections and the right to administrator and run its own educational institutions under Article 29 and 30 of the Constitution. Who are minorities notified by the Government of India? So currently only those communities notified under Section 2C of National Commission for Minorities Act 1992 by the central government are registered as minorities. In 1992, the Entitlements of NCM Act 1992 MC become a statutory body remains as NCM. In 1993, the first statutory national commission was set up for 5 religious communities, with the Muslim, Christians, Sikhs, Buddhists and Zoroastrian were notified as a minority communities. In 2014, Jains are also notified as a minority community. So you should remember these points. Now, next topic is election of president. About the Indian president elected through electoral college system, wherein the votes of national and state level lawmakers. The elections are conducted overseen by Election Commission of India. The electoral college is made up of all elected members of upper and lower house of the parliament, Rajya Sabha and Lok Sabha MPs, and elected member of Legislative Assembly of states and union territories. So, what are the related constitutional provisions? First, Article 54, Election of President. 55, Manners of Election of President. 56, Terms and Office of President. 57, Eligibility and Re-election. 58 is Qualification for election as President. So, what's the procedures? Before the voting comes the nominated stage, where the candidate intending the stands in the election files and the nomination along with signed first of 50 proposers and 50 seconders. These proposers and seconders can be anyone from the total member of electoral college from the state and national level. The rule for securing 50 proposers and seconders are implemented when Election Commission noticed in 1964 that several conditions may, without even blink the chance of winning, would file fair nomination in context the poll. The elector cannot possess or second the nomination for more than one candidate. Thanks for watching, friends, and don't forget to subscribe, like, comment and share.